Join me for episode 26 of my Hiking the Continental Divide Trail series, where I get ever closer to the end of this trek. Venturing into the legendary Bob Marshall Wilderness, home to the highest concentration of grizzly bears in the contiguous USA, I trek through rugged terrain to the awe-inspiring Chinese Wall, a towering limestone escarpment. On my final day of camping out in the wilderness, I finally come face to face with a black bear, a heart-pounding moment. Join me for a thrilling adventure through one of the CDT's wildest stretches. Back into it. Got a lift with Neil out of Augusta back to the trailhead. It'd be way too difficult to try and hitch, so thanks Neil. So back on the trail, about to head into the Bob Marshall Wilderness. So heading into the home stretch soon. 4 days I've got to summit, and then it's probably another 4 days of hiking or 5 days after that. I thought also better let everyone know, because I've been doing the big 30-mile days for a while now. I don't have any issue time-wise with my visa anymore. In fact, I've got time up my sleeve, so I can sort of take it easy a little bit. I don't really need to do 30-mile days anymore, maybe just 25s or 6 or 7s, and that will be fine. So getting closer. This is a pretty popular trailhead. Lots of cars. It's Sunday morning, so there must be lots of people out in the wilderness, which is good for me. I think the more people out there, hopefully the less chance of running into a bear. Back out on the road, and it is freezing. Well, almost. It's currently 2 degrees Celsius. What's that, about 35 or 6? It's 8:20 a.m. and the chill is gnawing at my fingertips. Here I am about to enter the Bob Marshall Wilderness, the famous Bob Marshall Wilderness, more affectionately or commonly known as just the Bob, which reminds me, hi to Kate and Bob and Dr. Bob, everyone at Woolooware Golf Club. Hope you're all well. I hope to be able to get to see you soon. Just got to get through the Bob. So the Bob has the densest population of grizzly bears in the United States. So I have to take extra precautions heading through here. Got about 4 days to summit, and then I'm on the home stretch. So hopefully we keep safe and get through here okay. Well, so far the Bob has been a fantastic trail to walk along. There's been lots of horses through here, so the trail is nice and wide, nice and soft dirt, pine needles sometimes, nice and shady. We're off to a great start. I want to see what an idiot looks like. That's me. Just realised I've walked, making good time, 1 hour and 40 minutes in the wrong direction. I I've done nearly 8 Ks already. Now I've got to go all the way back. What a dope. Here's a lesson I should have learnt by now. So when you see a CDT marker like that in the background, the idea is to not just follow it. It's a good idea to check the direction in which you're going. That way it saves you from walking an hour and a half in the wrong direction. What do you do? Some people are just slow learners. Ever get the sense of deja vu? Here we are at the Bob Marshall Wilderness, or affectionately or more commonly known as just the Bob. So, hi to Kate and Bob, Dr. Bob, all the gang at Woolware Golf Club. And what else did I have to say last time? Oh, that's right, it's also got the densest population of grizzly bears in the lower 48 states of the US. Anyway, let's do this again, except this time I'm going to head north instead of south. I'm cranky at first, but I get over it pretty quickly. I think when I'm fresh and not hungry or tired, I cope with these things better. So I'll walk back as fast as I can to start over, but it is still 2 hours 40 down the drain. I got to the trailhead and saw the CDT sign, and so I just started to blindly follow it. I think my brain must be worn out. First the bear bag a few days ago, and now this. The car park at the trailhead was full of cars, and so I crossed paths with many section hikers today. I don't expect to see any southbound hikers anymore though, as they would be extremely late in the season now. Everyone has reported no bears until I passed a couple who said they come across a black bear sow and 2 cubs. She was sitting right on the trail while the cubs were up the tree. The hikers just had to sit there and waited out until the cubs came down and they all left. I didn't think to ask how far up ahead they were, but I'm heading in that direction. An hour or so later, I passed another couple of hikers going south, and they tell me some horse riders have warned them about bears down on the trail. I realise I've obviously got past that section now and saw no sign of them, so that's a good thing. So despite, or after my little transgression on trail this morning, I've made pretty good time today. I'm only just outside, averaging 4.5 kilometres an hour, including the stops, which is pretty good. But the reason is, trail's really good today. And even though I've been up over a couple of mountains, not really, the gradient's been, I say mountains, perhaps they are, but they've not felt like it because the gradient has been really manageable. Just walking up and over, no stopping and half dying. So it's so far been a pretty good afternoon. I've probably spoken too soon because I've just looked at the map and it looks like a 5-mile climb coming up. I'm heading up to the Chinese Wall, which is a large escarpment stretching approximately 12 miles long. The wall is part of the Continental Divide, so again water flows to the Pacific or the Atlantic, depending on which side of the wall it falls on. The climb ends up being 9 kilometres or a bit over 5.5 miles, but there were a few breaks in it, so it's very manageable. After that I have a quick drop down and then it's up and over one more. It's getting late in the day now, it's 7:50 PM. Hopefully I'll finish by about 8ish. I've got about 1 kilometre to go to drop down to a water source, and there are reports of a good campsite nearby. That's been a pretty good day in the end. Only 23 trail miles, but plus my 8.5 miles down and back the wrong direction, not bad really on the whole. It is so hazy out here today. There is the fire back at Benchmark that I mentioned, but this is so thick I assume it is more the result from the big fires in California. I don't really know though. Would the smoke be this thick, this far north? So far, I've been very lucky with fires. Lots of hikers had to deal with the fire at Ledor, and I just missed that one, as well as the one at Benchmark. So hopefully my luck continues. But for today, in the mountains, it is particularly noticeable. Morning everyone. How's this for a spectacular sunrise in the making? Sun's just peeking up over the mountains. There's quite a few bushfires all of a sudden, so it's very hazy out there. Last night I got to the beginning of the Chinese Wall, and today I'm continuing to walk along the bottom of the face. What an amazingly spectacular geological feature. It is so imposing. It reminds me of the ice wall in the great television series, although I hate to mention it because it was ultimately ruined, Game of Thrones. The Chinese Wall is a towering limestone ridge that soars up to 1,000 feet with jagged cliffs and vibrant hues of grey and red. Formed millions of years ago by tectonic shifts, this geological wonder along the CDT is a haven for wildlife such as black bears, grizzly bears and mountain goats. As I head north, I decide to take the Spotted Bear alternate route. All the comments on Far Out say I should, so I'll follow their advice. This trail is 27.5 miles long and heads down the mountain to the Spotted Bear River. Straight away, I'm walking through extremely overgrown trail. It is so thick and bushy, teeming with huckleberries. I hope I don't run into any spotted grizzly bears. This trail is very overgrown. Very dense undergrowth, very wet in places too. There's a lot of water running down the mountain. This is what you call prime grizzly territory. Lots of these little rivers that are running down the trail make things a bit slippery. For the most part, the terrain has been quite easy this morning. It has been mostly downhill, but just through a mini jungle in places. Along the way, I keep getting these not so little reminders from a certain group of animals that I'm not alone out here. I thought I would show you what 4 days of food looks like. So, lunch, afternoon tea, breakfast, morning tea, dinner. So for breakfast, just got bars. I normally have these Rice Krispie bars, fantastic, dipped in chocolate, 420 calories, but I couldn't get them on this last resupply. So back to boring old Cliff bars. That's like a dark chocolate almond bar, macadamia bar, and these things, I normally have this for dessert at dinner. They're zingers, like a little cake with a filling in it. But I've been having those for breakfast since I can't get the Rice Krispie bars. So that's breakfast, usually about 4 bars, something like that. Got the flag just for you, Vin. Alright, so lunch is just wraps. I normally have 2. Got Spam tins today because I couldn't get any of the packets. Packets have been hard to get mostly. This is actually Spam turkey even because I couldn't even get normal Spam back in Augusta. But the Spam turkey's alright. And when I get tins like this, I just have half a tin per day. Fills up 2 wraps. And then I put the honey on top just to sweeten it up a bit. But that's lunch, not too much. After lunch, I have these things, which I don't think we get in Australia, called payday bars. So they're a little bit like a Snickers, but no chocolate. But they're wrapped in peanuts, full peanuts. So they're pretty good. I like those. M&Ms. I've got a new bar in here called a salted nut roll. Again, it's just a bar with peanuts and some kind of filling. I haven't tried those yet. But they're pretty good. The paydays I really like. I've gone off the Snickers. I've done those to death. What else have I done to death? Oh, too many. Pop-Tarts, whatever else. And then for dinner, which I've spoken about a fair bit, Mountain House meals. I really like them. They're good. So that's it. That's like 4 days of food right there. This is the top of Switchback Pass. Not sure how long I was climbing for. Maybe 8 or 9 k's. A long way. Still very hazy out today. It's amazing, some amazing rock formations around here. After 10.5 miles, my downhill journey ended and I left the Spotted Bear River and headed upwards following Pentagon Creek. Switchback Pass sees me climb from 4,870 feet to 7,792 feet in elevation. Obviously by its name, it's a whole heap of switchbacks up the mountain that gets the heart rate elevated too. I was thinking how I was making good time today. I'd gotten through 15 miles in about 6 hours, so travelling at about 4 k's per hour. I thought this day is going well, I'm rocking and rolling along, but Switchback Pass being so long slows me up pretty quickly. Once I get to the top, I drop down a little bit and then I have to start climbing again. Thankfully, I get over that soon enough and it's time for some more downhill. I'm trying to get 30 miles done for the day. I think I'll go close, it just depends on the trail ahead. It might just be a case of walking a little bit later than I thought I would have to. It all depends on the availability of water, but also a place to camp. Looking at the map, there is no obvious place or suggestions for that, so we will see. Seriously, this is the trail. It's head height. Oh, I can actually see the ground now. After hiking for 13 hours, I'm continuing to drop down a mountain. So far there is plenty of water around, but definitely nowhere to camp. It's beginning to rain, so I'm gambling the rain is not going to come down too hard and I can get farther down where a campsite will turn up. I make it down to a junction where there are campsites, but as per usual, the creek bed is dry. This is not too bad as the next water source is not far away, so I hike on. But now I'm back in dense forest and the campsites are scarce once more. After collecting water, it's time to find somewhere, anywhere, as the rain is coming down harder now. I wander off the trail and find a narrow strip that barely fits my tent. One side drops down pretty sharply, but I'll make it work. This is definitely my second worst campsite. The night in the snow in the Holy Cross Wilderness, that definitely wins that prize. I was just thinking to myself how everything is damp from the rain last night. Clothes, tent, sleeping bag. And I thought, oh, at least my socks are dry, but they're not lasting that well anyway because walking through the undergrowth they're getting damp now too. But this is definitely gonna seal the deal. Everything's gonna be wet. Aha! Look what I found about 50 metres downstream. Could be a bit tricky though, but we'll give it a go. This all proves a waste of time because not long after I'm walking through overgrown trail and with last night's rain my feet are soaked again anyway. Even my pants are wet. It's as if I've walked through a thigh-high river in 5 minutes. I'm back on the CDT, so that's the Spotted Bear alternate done. And down here's a little bit of a worry. Dead elk. Look out for grizzlies. Thankfully, I'm not going that way. I come around a corner into a bit of a clearing and something catches my attention out of the corner of my eye. At first I think it's a burnt tree stump. I'm halfway through my usual call of, "Hey bear," when all of a sudden it moves and turns to look at me. I call out again and it surveils me some more. It is a beautiful brown coloured black bear whose coat is gleaming in the sunlight. At first I think about my bear spray, but it doesn't seem to be posing a threat, so instead I reach for my camera. I race to get a photo and then some video. I'm then able to call out to it some more and thankfully it runs off. So they actually do exist. Hey bear! There's a good bear. Keep going. Good bear. Keep going. I was nearly thinking they were a myth, invented by the bear spray industry. So there you go, seeing is believing. Check this out for being back in the jungle. I'll look out, trail for about 3 metres. After the bear sighting, my heart was definitely pounding, especially as the trail went in the direction in which the bear took off. But if you were going to run into a bear, that was a pretty good way to do it. And now as the trail continues through this dense overgrown brush, my alert levels are definitely heightened. There's this log. I assume this is a bear ripping into that wood. You get the ants or termites, whatever else is hiding inside. I don't know if you can see. It's very hazy out there. And the smell of smoke is really quite strong all of a sudden. I hope this is just remnants of what's happening in California and what I saw a couple of days ago. But a couple of days ago, I couldn't really smell the smoke like I can today. It's really quite strong. So hopefully we're all okay. Quarter to 8 at night, and this is my campsite for tonight. And I just realised earlier today that this is going to be my last night camping out in the wilderness, because the route going forward, because of the closure of Glacier National Park because it's on the Blackfeet Indian Reservation. It's been closed for the COVID. So I have to do a road walk around Glacier National Park. So with Paulie's help, we've mapped out a route and we are going via Summit to Essex, to West Glacier, to Polebridge, and then the border. So last night camping out in the wilderness because all those other places I've got accommodation along the way. So I'll be on Easy Street. How good's that? I'm at Badger Station, which is a Forestry Service guard station. It says no camping in the station itself, but I find a spot where someone has camped previously just outside. It's a good flat spot right next to Badger Creek. Just like last night, it starts to rain just as I'm setting everything up. I bundle everything into the tent. Unlike last night though, the rain passes pretty quickly. As I said, tonight is my last night camping in the wilderness, so all I have to do is just hide out from the grizzlies one more night. For a long time now, everything's been about time and distance. And this morning I've woken up, got organised, seemed to take longer than usual for some reason. And I'm ready to get back into it, heading to Summit Campground. I know I've got to go straight uphill. And I thought, I'm always eating on the run. I thought today, last day out in the wilderness, or sleeping out in the wilderness, I'll get straight into my zingers. I'm going to stand here for 5 minutes and actually get to enjoy them for once. And that's just what I did. I must be getting near the end. Where has this trail been my whole life? This is what you call premium A-grade trail. Nothing to trip on. Pine needles for a bit of cushion, bit of room, no wet feet from the grass. I'm sure it won't last too long though, but we'll enjoy it while it does. The trail has been great for the first hour, but at a junction it all changes and the CDT bares its teeth once more. I've turned into a forest that's overburdened with blowdowns. The grass is long, which makes my pants, shoes, socks and feet soaking wet. The CDT is having one last go at me. Check these blowdowns, one after the other. And the grass is holding so much water, it's crazy. The blowdowns are difficult to get over and downright dangerous sometimes. Trying to go around them just sends me into further trip hazardous zones. The CDT, you've got to love it. I guess I was hoping for a nice easy stroll into Mariah's Pass and Summit Lodge, but I should have known better. It's almost like the CDT is giving me one last test. I've trekked through overgrown trail the last few days, but this is next level. It really is a jungle in places. I love this sign. Here's the CDT in action. So it says it's a trail. You look up that way and you can sort of roughly see some kind of indentation. But then check this out. That's a trail down there too. You'd need a machete. I know certain people don't like to see these things, but can I just say, I sure as hell hope I don't run into the bear that did that. That is massive. It is easy to tell it has been gorging on huckleberries. Whatever did that, I think would devour me in one mouthful. The trail is so crazily overgrown that I'm constantly concerned about what's around the corner. I see myself just like a salmon in those nature videos where they leap upstream into the open jaws of a grizzly, me doing the same as I crash through the brush straight into a grizzly's mouth. I'm finding today's section of the CDT almost like a mini version of the whole thing. Nice trail, rocky trail, terrible trail. Trip hazards everywhere. Blowdowns, overground trail, wet grass and muddy trail. Water crossings and wet feet. Puds, pointless ups and downs, lots of hard work. But beautiful creeks and streams, amazing mountains, blooming wildflowers and spectacular views. Here's a good representation of what the CDT can do to you sometimes. Yes, that is the trail through there. How are you supposed to see it without that post? How would you know? Well, that's what it does to you. You just got to keep your eye out and keep alert. Back on pavement, asphalt. Thank God. That was some of the roughest, hardest terrain I've been over. It's just like the CDT giving me one last kick. Oh, that was tough. It was only 25 k's, but just a jungle. Blowdowns, one after the other. So dangerous to try and get over. But we got through. Now to find some accommodation and relax a little. I come out at Mariah's Pass at Highway 2. That is mostly it now for me as far as the trail is concerned. It's a shame as the CDT now heads into Glacier National Park. This park, they say, is one of the highlights of the CDT. But due to it being on the Blackfeet Indian Reservation, it has been closed for all. So the journey to the Canadian border now takes me around the western side of Glacier National Park. My plan is to walk from Summit to Essex Walton on Highway 2, then I'll head into West Glacier and Polebridge and from there to Canada. I'm sitting having dinner at the Summit Lodge Steakhouse restaurant, enjoying a glass of red as a little interim celebration. Next thing, a guy walks up and asks, "Are you Damien?" I thought, that's pretty weird, how would he know? It is Arthur, trail name R2D2, and he has been following me up the trail and seen my name in the trail registers. I write I'm from Sydney, Australia, and he recognised my Australian accent when he walked in. His mother Teresa has flown in for the last couple of days, and I joined them for a drink while they had their dinner. It was fantastic to listen to his adventures, and I got to share some of mine. Arthur is going to slack pack the next section. This means his mum will take his pack in the car and he will only carry essentials to get through the day. But get this, he's planning to run the last bit, starting with a 43-mile run to West Glacier. Unbelievable. I couldn't run to the corner right now. Hopefully we'll catch up out the road somewhere as he zooms past.